My name is Jeff Ambs. It's A-M-B-S, kind of a weird spelling. This is my first event like this that I've been to, so I find this pretty interesting. And it's cool to see so many people too. I didn't expect this, to be honest. I guess quick story on Facebook. When you talk about the type of content that's out there now about you, I try and keep any content, kind of public facing in terms of I'd be comfortable if the CMO saw it, or anybody that I currently work with. But I did get an invitation from a college friend, and this is like a real friend. This is a stand-up inviting friend, and it was to join a group. And let's just say that part of the title of the group had the word fart in it. Of course I'm going to join it. It's kind of the fun of social networks, be able to do that stuff. And then I was doing one of those egotistical Google searches on my name. And within the Facebook link, it's like just a friend of, about fart. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm trying to figure out how to undo my title here at Amway, I'm big into titles and it changes all the time, about every 6 months. It's Senior Digital Communications Manager. So I work on the corporate side, or the true global side of the business, trying to put our arms around social networks, social media, digital marketing in general. So part of our group looks at what we call kind of traditional digital, the search and display and banner type components of supporting the business. And the other part really looks at social media and social networks and content aggregators like YouTube. And trying to get an understanding of how we manage this globally. And so we've got markets like the U.S. with Rob and Cindy and so on who have been dealing with this for far longer than I have. But we also have markets like Thailand who only have a 20% internet penetration rate, and they're just kind of emerging in the social network space. We've got India, it's got the orchids of the world, which is also large in Brazil. You've got Nixie, we go on and on. Our role is to really try and put forth process, roles, responsibilities, consistency, so that we as a company, as a brand, look the same, act the same, in some regards speak the same, depending on where we are. So that's kind of my role and part of our challenges. Quick comment, the Groundswell book. Who has read that book? Well, that book is the best. That's definitely, I would vote for that as well. That was kind of an eye-opener for me. As soon as I read it, everybody in our group had a copy. Had a chance to see Charlene Lee, who's one of the co-founders, speak at a conference. She just blew me away. So I definitely recommend that book. One of the challenges that we have, and I'm not sure if you do as well, is trying to get other people in the organization to understand, embrace, and prioritize social media. Kind of seeing some head shake. Our challenge is not only kind of within our corporate team, but within our affiliates as well. North America has embraced it, and they are really in a leadership position for our company. And we basically use a lot of learnings that we find from them and share with our other markets. But we reach out to Japan and say, hey, we are doing a social network campaign. We need a contact to work with on a day-to-day basis. And we tend to get like a marketing IT hybrid, who has maybe 5% of their time who they might be able to spend with us. And so we are always looking for ways to try and get social media, digital marketing more on the top of mind. One of the things that we created was a blog site, an internal blog site, where as we found relevant articles, we posted on there, we asked for other contributors. The thing that I find, not only just for items or assets like blogs, but even social network pages, they're easy to start, they're hard to keep up, and hard to keep engaging. It was cool, it was fun writing these blogs at first, and now it's like, man, I haven't updated that thing in like 4 days. It's getting stale. We're not sure what to do with it now. Do we let it die? Do we try and force people to write articles? It's tough, it's tough. And so we have started some new efforts for social network pages in North America, and we are struggling to get some real solid, engaging behind-the-scenes assets that we can put on the page, so that it is a real experience for people to go to, and not just regurgitation of our website. And so that's part of the challenges that we face. You guys face similar challenges as you kind of approach social media with your companies? If you had some experience on that. see what else. I put some notes in here as I was standing in the back. How many of you work in an international landscape? Do you have social network presences in other social sites across the world? No? No. For the most part, no. Oh, another challenge that we're working on right now, and if anybody has any thoughts on this, is developing key performance indicators for, measuring our performance on the social network sites, and then reporting that across the company. So, if you've worked with Facebook, you know they've got a pretty good insight section where you see the fans. You can choose your period. You can see the engagement, whether it's comments, wall posts, likes, and so on. So we're trying to take that and put it into a common format that we can share upline and across with the other markets. Standardize it so if we do get different affiliates who do operations across the world, it all funnels into one common area, and we can provide a global report. Again, it's kind of the processes, the roles and responsibilities that we're working on. But ultimately, we'd like to figure out how many of these engagements will lead to a new customer, and then, of course, what's the lifetime value of that customer. And that's obviously a pretty tricky analysis to try and figure out. So we're starting with the basics. We're starting with what Facebook gives us, trying to do that reporting structure and take it from there. But I have a feeling we've got a long way to go in that regard.